Because let's just say Jake forget. Let's say we all forget. We got to move forward. You know, slavery's done. It's the past. The Lord ain't forgot about it. And I'm going to prove that. Hold what you got. Give me Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. Let's just say every Jake all around the world forgot about what happened to them. The Lord ain't forgot about what happened to them. They're still going to have to pay for what their forefathers have done, just like how we're paying for what our forefathers have done right now. And we're the Most High's chosen people, so how much more they're fucking asses? And that's why they out there protesting all of a sudden. Why are you protesting now? You should have been protesting years ago, because it was going on years ago and you knew about it. Now all of a sudden they protesting now. Oh, people, you know, you gotta say we gotta save our kids. We gotta, you know, leave our kids alone or whatever they talking about. They should have been doing that years ago. Go on, brother. Don't just wait to the last minute. .com and then protest. You should have been doing it a long time ago. Go on. Yeah, 3 and I believe it's 16. Because among these devils, man, that's been going on. Kids getting molested and shit. No one's saying nothing. People are keeping it to themselves and yada yada yada.
Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. That which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been. And the Most High required that which is past.
Right, and the Most High required that which is past. So that which has already been is now, and the Most High required that which is past. So we could all say right now, look, you so-called white people, you don't have to apologize for slavery. You know, we forgive you, and we can forget it. We can move forward. The Lord ain't moving forward with this. He said He requires that which is past. So is it really me or us saying what we want to say, or is it what the Lord is saying is what counts? That's what we have to consider. That's the one that's to consider. That's why they don't want to believe if there's a God, because if they have to believe that there is a God, that means their asses is getting ready to receive judgment. That's what that means. That means what was done unto us is what's going to be done unto them, and they have to swallow that pill. That's why they don't want to believe. But it's not in them to believe because they're Edomites. Keep going, brother.
1 Thessalonians 1 and 6. Sing, it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
Yeah, it's a righteous thing to recompense. What does the word recompense mean? Meaning to pay back. Recompense. It is a righteous thing to recompense unto those that have troubled you. So we're going to be able to pay them back for what they have done unto us when the kingdom of heaven is set up. And there's not going to be no protesting. I can assure you. I can guarantee you, in our world, there's not going to be no protesting. And if there is going to be some kind of protest, we're going to flatten that out, man. We're going to flatten that shit out. Huh? Yeah. Real talk, man. Because all of this confusion that's been going on throughout the years, people protesting. The reason why people are protesting because people are simply fulfilling scripture. That's why they're doing it here. But in our kingdom, ain't nobody going to be rebelling against what we're doing. They're going to be put to work. They're going to be playing their part, and we're going to let them know exactly where they stand on this earth. We're not going to try to give them some kind of sense of hope or false sense of power, democracy, have you will. That's not going to go down. We're going to let these nations know where they stand and where we stand with them. All right? And the racism is going to be at an all-time high in our kingdom. Oh, you better believe it. Because I hate... Anyway, this is...
Go back to where we were in Timothy.
Yeah. Go back to that. Come on.
This is 1 Timothy 6 and 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain.
Yeah. Come on.
For we brought nothing into this world.
Yeah.
And it is certain we carry nothing out.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter, man, what you become in this society. At the end of the day, what it all boils down to is, are you going to be saved? When the nuclear missiles come out on your eyes. That's what's really going to matter. It doesn't matter if you go to college or you become a football player or any kind of celebrity. That don't matter. What's going to matter is when these missiles come driving down in your cities, are you going to be saved from that? That's the question. What we should all be asking ourselves. So it ain't about oh, I gotta do this to please this person, to to kiss them, kiss people's ass to get approval. Man, like we out here, we don't give a flying shit about that, man. As the scripture says, the fashion of this world passeth away, man.
It says that the works therein shall be burned up.
There you go.
What's the point?
So what's the point? So I mean, we have to be content, like the scripture says. Read that again. Because see, what it is, we've all came from the world, and we have that you got brothers that are just coming into the truth, and they may have that societal conditioning where you've been told that your valuability is based on what you have, or whether it's the new shoes you got, or whether it's the new iPhone you got. Just you being a consumer.
Call it like you call it status.
Yeah, status. Yeah. So your status is based based on what you have. Do you have the new shoes? Do you have the new wear? The new clothes that they got out there? Do you have a nice house? How many chicks you can pull? The Lord ain't looking at that, man. Most I don't give a shit about that. That's all vanity in vain, man. And it's a time and a place for everything under the sun. We'll be pulling all of the bad looking women in the kingdom. Right now, it's the time to get correct with your maker, because something's getting ready to happen. And what's getting ready to happen is that this society is going to be destroyed so severe that you can't even comprehend. And we need to be saved from that. And this is what we got to return back to. Go on, brother. Because all of that shit you made, that people talk about you need to get, society telling you need to get, all of that's going to be resolved and destroyed. You can't take your Rolls Royce with you. You can't take your 2020 Pagani with you. All right? You can't take your 2021 Ford GT with you, because all of that's going to be gone. And your 30 million pound mansion or palace, that's just going to be dissolved. Now what? Now what do you have? You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we may not have those things, but you know what we do have? We have this knowledge and understanding. That's what makes a man a man.
Right.
Also, his integrity. The things he stands up for, the things that he's willing to die for. His character. That's what makes a man.
Temptation. The word temptation. To talk about temptation. It's a test or a trial of a man's character.
Yeah.
That's what makes a man. It's his character.
Yeah.
That's what you test. That's what you judge a man. His character. You test the man himself. It's his character. It's all together. It's a test. You see our man. How much our character.
Yeah.
The strength of our character. That's what the Lord is judging us based on.
That's it.
Fire, they're going through this whole testing, the trial.
Yep.
It's all the test of our endurability, our durability, all these things, man. You know, it's all a test, you know. That's
And it's
what make a man.
Yeah, and it's to build what? It's to build your character. That's what it's all about. So, being that your character is now being built, and now you're worthy of being saved. You're not gonna get all of the goods of society, and that's gonna save you. No, what's going to save you is if your character is after the ways of the Heavenly Father. That's what's going to save you, and that's what's important. Because like I said, the end of this place is going to be extreme damnation. So all of these pop stars, Hollywood movie makers or whatever, people look up to, guess what, man? They're not going to be heard in the scriptures. We're reading the scriptures right now. And I'm pretty sure that there was people that made it big in ancient Rome. I'm pretty sure that there was people that made it big in all of these different previous paganistic societies at one time. Where you see them at in the scriptures, they're nowhere to be found. So the same thing is going to apply when we get into the kingdom. Our lives are only going to be what written. Everybody else's lives ain't going to be written. You talk about people like Jay-Z, Denzel, wacky old Britney Spears. Okay, all of these pop stars that were doing it large at one point. You ain't gonna hear about them in the scriptures. When they come back in the reincarnation in the kingdom, no one ain't gonna worry about no damn Britney Spears or no Jay-Z or no Beyonce. No one's gonna worry. They're gonna be an afterthought. No one's gonna be thinking about that. So the way the rest of the nation of Israel is gonna get respect of all of these nations is gonna be because they're bearing the name of those that survived the nuclear holocaust and the judgment of the Lord, and those that did the Lord's work. That's why these other Israelites are gonna get respect. Because they're gonna bear our name. So Jay-Z right now, he may be one of you brothers' sons or whatever. But is he gonna get respect because he was Jay-Z of this world? No, he's gonna get respect because of what the men of the Lord did. Alright? That's how that goes down. So all of this shit don't matter, man. All of this malarkey don't matter, as Benjamin said. Go on, brother.
This is 1 Timothy 6:7. For we brought nothing into this world.
Yeah.
And it is certain we can carry nothing out.
And it's certain, meaning it's the truth, that we can carry nothing out. So we don't need to worry about what people think about us or whatever. Like, that's how we used to think when we were in the world, when we didn't know any better, but now we know too much. And we know that people don't even really love themselves to look at anything of you, to expect something of you. They don't even know what to look for themselves. So at the end of the day, these people, and just this world as it stands right now, we would all lie to, man, to think a certain way. We was all born in this world to think a certain way. And that's why people do the things that they do. This is why men go out their ways to please themselves or to please other women. Because it's been inherited into them that that's the way they're supposed to be. When in fact it's the opposite. When really the females around you should be looking at you to get with. They should be looking to you to get with, not the other way around, where you got one woman, she's got access to 20,000 dudes. That don't make no damn sense, man. And let's say you got that woman, that's making room for adultery, because that means she can just go leave you, knowing that there's 20,000 of the dudes that can take her at any given moment in time. So this is why relationships don't work. Nothing works in this world. When you understand this world and you study it, nothing works in it. That's why nothing doesn't work. Go on, brother.
Yeah, I just saw, just before everybody came, just there,
Yeah.
a guy with his woman. He's got 2 youths, and there's a trend now. I always see men with prams now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's with him, and then she runs over to the other side of the road, right in front of my eyes. Yeah, runs over to the other side of the road. He's got the 2 youths. And he chases after her with this. She's running away from him, and he crossed over with the youth, them trying to chase after her. And I'm saying, what? These men ain't like men no more, man. And she's running. He caught up a little bit to her. Then she started sprinting down there, just sprinted. And he's like, and then he got onto the phone like to say he's trying to call her. You don't deal with women. You don't deal with women like that, man.
Yeah.
Chasing women, man.
But what the sad reality is, though, is you gotta understand something, yeah. I never looked at it like this before. What it is the men of today. The men of today have been conditioned to think a certain way where they can't say nothing. Don't say anything. If your woman is doing something or whatever, don't say nothing. Because if you do say something, you may lose her. And what you also gotta think about, a lot of these guys have been pussy whipped as well.
Yeah.
The pum-pum's real good. So it's like
That's what I'm thinking.
I can't say nothing, you know what I mean? Because I got kids with her, and I want this relationship to go all right. So I can't really say that. But men have been placed in that predicament where they gotta do that. But this is why, man, nothing works, because the standard of this world is okay. If you get to a certain age, as a young man or a young woman, you're supposed to have children and all the above. But how could that standard uphold itself when the roles have been reversed?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
It can't work, man. And then you got all of these sodomites floating all over the place and shit like that. You don't know who's sleeping and all the above. Gary, what you got?
It's Ecclesiasticus 26, 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
And that's the truth. And that's the truth. And that's why, and this is why, men find themselves in the predicament that they find themselves in. Because most of these men out here are wicked as hell.
Yeah.
Most of them are wicked. And at the same time, most of these women are wicked.
Yeah.
So if you're a brother that's in the faith, don't worry about these women, man. Don't worry about them, because, go on.
But listen, this is the part here. But a godly woman is given to him that fear of
The Lord. Absolutely.
That's why a lot of the time you and man the truth. Things don't work out with the world. She's wicked.
Yeah, because she ain't right.
The spirit is oil and water.
Yep.
The two can't mix.
Exactly. Like you said, oil and water. Because even the women that claim to believe in the truth, they ain't really so they're in the head themselves.
Got it.
Like the example, it's like brothers still gotta make videos about women playing their position. Like, why is it so difficult, for the women of our nation to play their position? But then again, I do understand why, because when you're dealing with the communities of our people, it was all based on matriarchy. So if you was a child growing up, a young girl growing up, right, and you've always seen your mom lead the way or whatever, right, and doing everything, you gonna think, okay, well, that's being a woman. And as a young man, you gonna think, it's nothing wrong with it, because I know other kids that live like that. So what's wrong with it? So this is why these women, they feel need to take leadership all the daggone time, because they never seen an actual Jake man take leadership in their so-called communities. So I understand the psychology of it. You got something, brother?
Precept concerning the women really should be chasing you. You shouldn't be chasing no woman. This is a precept. This is First Samuel 18.
Yeah.
And 6. And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the women came out all of the cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul, with tablets, with joy, and with instruments of music.
Oh yeah, I know this is good.
And the women answered one another as they played, and said, Son, have slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s.
Yeah.
And Saul was very rough, and the saying displeased him.
And that just goes to show you right there, like the apostle, the Bible always talks about, women of facts. They're just cheerleaders. That's all they are. They're supporters of men. And that's what they're supposed to be. Your woman is supposed to be a fan of you. It ain't supposed to you being a fan of her. Oh man, she's hot. How Jake lose their mind when they see a fine woman. Oh man, look at her, man, she's nice, man. And they losing their mind like they ain't never seen a woman before. But in the kingdom, everything's going to revert back to what it was supposed to be. Because what's going on amongst these men, and just Jake in general is what I'm concerned about, is Jake has been brainwashed and conditioned. They've been conditioned to believe that women are of a high pedestal. We put them on the pedestal. We've all thought like that. Hey, I used to think like that. Okay, we all thought like that. I'd be lying if I said I didn't think like that, because I thought like that at one time or another. All right, but when I came into the truth, I started to see the true way of thinking. We started to realize that we as the men, we are on a high pedestal, and the man of the Lord is on a high pedestal. Not no damn woman, because she can't really do nothing for you. In terms of stability is concerned, now they may give you pleasure, and that may be a whole lot to the flesh, but they can give you needs. You got that already. You have the integrity. You have the strength and the ability to withstand all kind of different elements. They don't have that, so they need that from us and other things. They need comfortability. Okay. But like I said, in this society, men have become women, and women have become men. That's the roles that's going on. That's the roles that have been played out today. Go on, brother. So when you go out on the date, you got to make sure that you say the right words, and you just lie to her all the time, because at the end of the day, you want to get what's between our legs. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it bluntly real here. The reason why you're taking her out to dinner and you being nice with her, because you want what's between her legs. Okay, it's just the truth. All right, it's just the truth. But when the kingdom of heaven is set up, as I'm going to say again, we're not going to have to be playing no games. They're going to be playing. They're going to be dancing to our tune, as they say. Let's read that, brother.
1 Samuel 25 and 23, and it says, And when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the ass, and fell before David on her face, and bowed herself to the ground, and fell at his feet, and said, Upon me, my Lord, upon me let this iniquity be, and let thine handmaid and pray thee speak in thine audience, and hear the words of thine handmaid.
Yeah.
She's begging for his attention. Let not my Lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal, for
You know
as
Belial means, right? You know what Belial means?
Yeah, foolish.
Satan.
Oh, can't. That's her husband, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Nabal for his name is that he is Laban, foolish. He is his name a folly, is with him, is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thine handmaid, saw not the young men of my Lord, whom thou didst send. And he goes on. He end up marrying her as his wife.
The point that I was making was, as we was just reading, women are the fans. Women are supposed to be a fan of you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with a woman being a fan of you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what she's supposed to be. Like how when Saul was killing the men, our women was cheering Saul on. They like this. They like the idea that a man such as Saul killed thousands of other men.
Yeah.
You know, it turns them on. It makes them like, yeah, that's a man right there.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that. But the point I'm making is nowadays, man, you got so much men. You'd be surprised when you go on these dating websites. There's so much men out there that's chasing one female. Thousands of men chasing one chick. And the woman could just be a regular looking woman. But she's got like 1,000 dudes that want to hit that.
If I wouldn't have told me that.
Huh?
If I wouldn't have told me that he had to up the dating account.
Yeah.
One of the dating websites.
Come.
Yeah, guys were just
Just hitting them up, man. Left, right, hand, and center. They didn't have to go out there and go find the guy.
Yeah.
All they got to do is just make an account. Wait
Yeah.
for the dudes to coming in.
Yeah.
You understand? They got it like that, but the dudes, they got to go all the way. They got to go all... Because I used to be on them websites years ago. So I know how it is. So when you set up an account, you got to go find the bitch that you want. You got to find the hoe you want. I'm calling it straight. You know, I'm as blunt as they come, man. I'm not, you know, I mean, there's other men as blunt as me, but I'm just a blunt individual because I look at life for what it is, not for what I want it to be. So I may come off a bit harsh, but hey, we live in a harsh world. All right, but what I'm saying is you gotta go out there and find the hoe you want. All the hoe gotta do is set up an account, and every single Tom, Dick, and Harry is coming her way, and she can just sit back, pool in the cut, pick and choose who she wants.
Yeah.
That's this world. That's how this world is operating. That's how this world is operating. So they telling you to lock it, brother. So they saying to you, oh, when you get to a certain age, you gotta have this and you gotta have that. But when you do, but how could you do that when the roles have been reversed? That don't make no damn sense, man. When it comes to getting these relationships. Read that, brother.
It says, don't give your woman power over you while you live. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 19.
Yeah.
Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee.
Yes.
While thou livest. Yeah. And give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again.
Yes.
As long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any.
Beautiful.
For better it is that thy children should seek to thee, than that thou shouldest stand to their courtesy.
Exactly.
In all thy works, keep to thyself the preeminence.
Exactly. So if you,
Leave not a stain in thine honor.
So if you have a high position of such, or you have inheritance for your children, you don't give all your inheritance or what you have away to somebody else or even your wife, because your wife is your inheritance. It says in the scriptures, when a man beget of a wife, what does he beget? The possession. So she becomes a part of him. This is why in society, even to this very moment in time, women take on the last name of their husband. Okay? Because what is that? Because during the time of in the ancient world, when a woman was of a certain age, when she was enough age to get married, she was claimed by her parents, more likely the father, and then she became claimed by her husband. This is why she took on the husband's last name. But right now, as it stands, you don't know what's out here. What society's telling you is this: oh, well, you gotta dance to the tune of a woman. That's what society's telling you to do. And society's giving women the false notion that they can do what we can do. But while they're doing what we've been doing for years, and as years move forward, they like 30 up in age, and they miserable as hell because they themselves didn't find the right dude when they were supposed to at a reasonable young age. And this is why they're miserable as all hell, because the roles have been reversed. So not only does it hurt men, but it hurts them in the process. And this is why you have, and that's a part of the reason why you have pedophilia going on, because the families that are set up right now is not set up by the ways of the Heavenly Father. No one's teaching these kids the correct things. Rather than that, society's teaching these kids, well, The parent is doing what it has to do to go to work to provide. Society's already teaching the kids. So it's not always the parents' fault as to why the kids act a certain way or whatever. It's mainly society's fault because they're watching TV. While you're at work doing what you got to do, the children are watching TV. Or the teacher's teaching them something that they ought not to be learning about. Like, for example, in the schools nowadays, they're educating their kids about sex or sodomy. So they're purposely corrupting people as it stands. And this is why you have so much corruption out there. And as long as Esau continues to rule the planet, there will always be corruption of some sort. There will always be something to complain about. There will always be something to protest about. Because the so-called white man is not about perfection. He's about fucking shit up. All you gotta do is look at their history. If you wanna know a people or a race of people, you have to look at their history to know exactly who they are. Alright? Because the people that's bent on messing shit up, they're not gonna fix shit up when they get the chance to. They never will. Okay? All you gotta do is study what they did during the Greeks, during the Romans, and what they've done centuries ago in this empire. And it should all make sense to you that these are not the people you're supposed to put your trust in. Go on, brother. And I have to be like that, man. And they know what I'm talking about is true. They know what I'm saying is true. I'm not saying anything that's foreign in their mind that they don't know. They know what I'm talking about. They know what the hell I'm talking about. Of course they know what I'm talking about. Hell, their prime ministers are a fraud. Their whole system is a fraud. How can they not know what I'm talking about? And that explains why they're not walking all up and down this park. Because they don't want to hear my voice. Go on, brother. But it's the truth. It's the truth, man.
This is Ecclesiastes 7.
And I don't mean to keep going on because, see, they've been saying about us, oh yeah, we got looking for Jake. You know, Jake, they stealing your purse and they thugs and they doing this. But who's raping the kids?
What?
Who's molesting the children? And how many people have they killed versus how many people we killed? Right? So this is what we gotta understand, man. Who's really doing what and beyond, man. Go on, bro. We can still you don't, man. I gotta stop talking. I'm talking too much.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets.
Yeah, and Eve proved that fact. Eve proved that you ain't supposed to be following no woman. You know what I mean? Like that. When you read that story, that proved that. So, but men today they're still on that level of just simping for their woman, and this is why it needs to know that. If you really want to build in a relationship, you have to put the man in it, because the man understands the concept of building. They don't understand the concept of building.
It's like women just take. That's why women are known as what, a liability. If they're not doing anything, if they can't cook, clean, or anything, they're known as a liability.
Exactly. And I mean, and I have to be honest too, that women do play a part in building. But what I'm saying is men know how to build. Women don't know how to do that. What a woman is good to doing, or known to do, is to give nurture and love to their children. That's why it says that the scriptures talk about them being guiders of the house. Why would they be guiders of the house? Because they're there to nurture the children and give the children love and compassion. While the man is out there doing what he has to do, so when the kid grows up at the age of probably like 11 or 12 years old, he's giving the mom gives him away to the father, and the father shows the young man what it means to be a man in terms of working and going out there to do what he has to do. That's how it's supposed to be. So there's a balance. You need women as well as you need the man for the children, so that the children can be balanced. It's all about balanceation. But out here they keep pushing this woman business. You know, when it's Mother's Day, everybody's got a prize or a present for their mother. But when it's Father's Day, no one in sight to give their father a present or any form of prize or whatever for being a good father. You know? That's just how it is, man. You read what you got, brother.
1 Timothy 2 and 9. In like manner also that women adore themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness.
Right, let's read that again now.
In like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
And you really can't get women to do that nowadays, because look, man, we live in a society that's so highly sexual, to where they have to go out there and show their ass. Because what a woman values the most is the amount of attention she gets. And I'm talking about today's women. They value the attention. So if you're a woman now, and you feel as though you're supposed to get the attention like the next girl over there, and you're not getting it, you're going to do all you can to get it because you want to feel that sense of valuability. You want to feel approval from other people. That's why they can't do it. They can't do it. These women have been trained solely to show their vagina, to show their ass. That's what they've been trained to do. By television. Okay? By television. It starts from when they were in their teens, all the way up to their 20s, and now they're 30, and now they're 30 plus, and they're still doing it. They still have to prove to other women that they can keep it with other younger women. I'm talking about older women now. And this is why you have these Instagram, what you call Instagram accounts. Because they're trying to prove to the younger, you got old ass Instagram accounts, I call them. Right? Because they're trying to prove that to themselves that they're just as sexy as the young girl. They getting themselves all dolled up with makeup and lipstick and all of that stuff and hoeing themselves out, prostituting themselves. And that's all that's out there. Now, is there a few reasonable women, the best out of the worst? Yes, there is. But the majority of them are really full of shit, just like how the average man is full of shit. Everybody's full of shit out here. The more you get into these scriptures and the more you understand this world that we're living in, the more you find out that people are not really to be trusted out here, man. And to be considered of. That includes these devils out here. That includes our own people. You can't rap with these folks, man. Like they're all full of shit. And I've been around people, you know, for as long as I can remember. So people are not what you think they are, man. People got two sides to them. And I mean, you got people out there that are genuine, that are sincere, that hold their character together, but you got a lot of people that have a different side to them, man. They're not what they seem to be. Going, brother, and most likely these women, especially them, because they gotta survive out here. They gotta survive, so they gotta be as much, if not more conniving than the men that's already out here in this generation. Go on, brother.
This is just to back up what you were saying. This is 2 Timothy 3. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come.
Yeah.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
And that's what time we're living in right now. Shalom, brothers. Yahawashi. You know, that's what time we're living in right now. We're living in a time where people are so self-conscious. They're so caught up into themselves. They don't really care about the next person.
Being narcissistic.
You're narcissistic.
Yeah.
You're just self-absorbed. People are very self-absorbed nowadays. So that proves what you just read, that we're in the last times. Shalom, brother. You know, that proves we're in the last days. Because we're in the age where people are just so self-absorbed. And most likely these women, they're very, very self-absorbed. So how can you get with them knowing that? What can they do for you?
Right.
See? You gotta tell every bitch that. Every bitch that you confront, you gotta tell all of them that.
2 Timothy 3 verse 1.
Yeah.
This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Yeah, he just read it.
No, that's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Carry on, man. Carry on.
That's the spirit.
The spirit wants that to come out.
Lovers of their own